Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Features module in Drupal. In order to understand the Features module, you first have to understand what a feature is. So in this context, we're talking about a feature as a collection of Drupal entities that are meeting some desired use case. And then what the Features module does is it actually enables us to capture and then manage those features or those collection of Drupal entities in Drupal, and so what we can actually do is control these with a versioning control system like Git, for example, and push them to our in other environments like our staging environment and then our production environments. So the Drupal features site just kind of lists quick examples of what would be useful use cases, and they call out things like a blog or an image gallery or something like that. In this case, we'll be going over the use case of a organization. In this case, an organization would appear to be something along these lines. So we'd have an organization joining our website, and it would have an icon or a logo associated with it, a website URL, and some description of that organization. And so there would be all kinds of different organizations joining the site and listing out all of this content so that you know, hey, they're a member of this website. So I'll go ahead and show you how I've created these Drupal entities, and then we'll talk about how we want to manage those, or how we would manage those with features, and I'll show you an actual example of how we will manage this particular use case with the Features module. To show you what I've already created, I've created a new content type. So if we look at the structure and then view the content types, you can see that I've created the organization content type here. And we can take a quick peek at the fields that we have. So you can see there's an organization name, a description, site, logo, and type. And that type is just a selection list, and you can say whether you're a nonprofit organization or if you're a business partner or an educational partner, etc., etc. So that was just creating a very that was just creating the content type. So we've done that already, and then we also had to create a view. So this required us to install the Views module, which has some other dependencies like the Views UI, which is what actually allows us to edit views, and then CTools as well. So there's a lot of dependencies we had to install in order to create this particular use case that we're interested in. And so we'll take a quick peek here. Under the Views, we can see that we created an organizations view, and its URL is the organization's URL, so I'll show you the output of that in a second. But this view itself literally just creates a table, so you can see here, of all of the organizations that that sign up, basically, that are a Drupal entity with the content type of organization. And so it lists out all of the organization fields, logo, title, body, and you can see in the preview of a couple of examples I've added in here. So you can see this San Antonio Nonprofit Council is one entry into our content, and its content type again was of organization, and so it made it into this view. And then the same thing for the San Antonio Christian Dental Clinic. They made it into this view as well because they are a content type of organization. And so if we close all of our management stuff here, I am at the organization's URL here, so I'm able to view that, and what we see again is just that list of organizations we have. So those two organizations we added as content earlier. So that's our use case. As you can see, I didn't quite make the table as pretty as I desired, but that's okay, we'll get there sometime. So anyways, that's the use case. So now how do we go about taking all this work we just did and pushing it to the stage environment. We could go with the most naive option, right? The first one is to simply go ahead and add the new modules that we needed, and then recreate all of these content types and recreate this view in the stage environment. But that would be a very naive way of doing things. We'd actually be recreating and duplicating a lot of work. So what we want to do is go ahead and create a feature and use that feature to track the content type we created and to track that views that we created, that view that we created through the Views UI. So let's go ahead and, without further ado, install the features module, and then dig into how to actually use that features module. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is on my local environment. So you can see I am currently selected on the prompt, which is just my machine's local host. I'm going to be switching between the prompt and the Vagrant host, which we talked about in our previous screencast here. So anyways, here on my local machine, I'm going to go ahead and check out a new Git branch so that I can add my features module without and track that. Oh, sorry, I don't want to delete. I want a new branch and track that. So Git check out features module. All right. So I just switched to a new branch. And now I will go ahead and I just moved over to the Vagrant environment where we're doing where we're running the actual virtual machine that's hosting our development environment at this point in time. So under here we're going to run a drush command to go ahead and download the features module. So that's just drush dl features. That's going to take a moment to process there, and as soon as it does, we'll go ahead and enable features as well. So that'll be the following command. Alright, and we will do a drush enable features. And that's going to again take a moment there to run. And yep, I want to enable that. While that's running, we can go ahead and take a look at what we just added to our repository. And we can see that we already added the files for features, so what we're going to do is commit that to our database. I don't think there's anything else we need to do, so we'll push that change out right away. And I added the features module. Alright, and git commit. Sorry, I already did the git commit. So I git stash just have a clean branch here, and you'll see that I'm on the features. You'll see that I'm on the features module branch right here. So let's go ahead and merge that with our stage environment. So we will git checkout stage, and then git merge, no, fast forward, the features module. Okay, so we just merged that successfully with the staging branch, and so now we can go ahead and delete that features module, and we'll push that up to the origin as well on stage. So now that'll be available. Anyways, okay, so enough of the Git stuff. So we can see now that we have enabled our features module, and we can move on to the next step of actually using features. So we'll go back to our web interface here, and we should be able to view now that our module exists for the features. Give it just a moment here. Okay, so we'll scroll all the way down here, and features. Okay, there it is. So features is set up right there. Alright, and so we can go ahead and head over to the features. Anyways, there's some basic configurations for the features we won't need to worry about right now. There's a default export path, cites all modules, so that's where all of your tracked features will be stored by default. So anyways, let's go ahead and manage some of these features. So again, it's under structure, and then under the features module under structure. I go there. Okay, so we'll manage it, and we should be able to add a new feature here. Okay, please use the feature link. Okay. Oh, sorry, I should be clicking here to create the new feature. Okay. So this is where you'll create the new feature, and we will call it organization, and we can have a quick description of it. We don't really need one here in this case, so we'll ignore that. We don't really need any groups at this point in time. I'm not going to worry about the versioning for this feature. Alright, so what we're interested in is we have a particular content type that we want to add. So we're going to go through here and find the content type we were interested in. So the first one that we want to bundle together to meet this use case is the organization content type. Then once we select that, it automatically goes through and finds dependencies for you. So you'll actually see that I'm using an image module built into Drupal there, and I actually added a URL module as well, and that automatically picked up on that, that we have that there as well. So then it kind of loads in all of your fields automatically and your field instances. So then it knows to handle those. And we're also interested in the view that we created. So we're going to go down and find that organization view that we added to meet the use case. And that should be everything that we want to bundle together in our feature, this organization feature that we're creating. So with that, what we'll do is we can either download the features, you can click here, or optionally, so we'll wait till that loads now, or optionally under advanced options, which is what we'll probably want to do in most cases, you will be able to publish these to that modules folder by default. So this is where you would, under advanced options, you would generate the feature, and it's going to go by default to that cites all modules, and that's fine for us to go ahead and add that there as well. So we'll generate that new feature, and we'll let that do its magic. And then once we've generated that, we will go ahead and view the result of it in our Vagrant command line here. Alright, so it looks like that completed successfully. Yep, module organization written. And let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. Alright, so there it is under organization. We can see it. And there is an organization.info file. And we can take a quick peek in there if we wanted to. just get an idea of how they're writing this to the file. So you can see it's basically just a set of dependencies and tracking all that stuff, and those are all the things that are stored automatically into that modules folder for us after selecting that generate button we just did. So now we've bundled up that feature that we created, that use case that we just supported. So with that, we want to go ahead and add this feature to our next site. So before we move any further, we want to make sure we've committed this change. So we should be able to see in our Git status that we have some new files to track. And there it is, there's our feature we want to track. So let's first switch to a new branch and store this as a new Git feature, if you will. Pulling that off of the stage branch. Alright. So now given that, we will go ahead and git add Drupal 7 and all of its contents there. And then git commit. And let's go ahead and merge this with our stage branch. Check the status real quick. Yeah, okay, looks good. So git merge and then no fast forward. And we'll delete that branch now that we've got that committed in there. And then finally, let's push that up to our origin. To stage. Okay. So now let's take a look at our stage environment. So we really don't have anything there. We just simply have the code ready to go, but we don't have anything added to the stage environment. So you're not really going to have the benefit of, you're not going to immediately have your organization's feature added until we explicitly enable all those modules. So under the stage environment here, we can look at modules, and just for sake of speed here, we'll do this all through the UI. But you should be able to see that we have a bunch of new modules available. So you can see these chaos tools and all that are loaded up. But we'll focus for now just on the features. And we will enable features and save that configuration. So again, we're doing this on the stage environment, which is automatically via a hook that we have on our server, pulled that from the Git repository on GitHub that we're tracking. Alright, so now that's been saved, and our features should be enabled. So given that is working, we can now go over to our structure and to the features module itself, and there we have it. The organization feature is here, and we can go ahead and see that it is in fact it appears to be enabled. I don't think we need to change anything here. So let's see if our organizations are in fact, our organization is in fact there. So we can go to content, and let's add some content here. Oh, no, we're saying that features is not there. Let's see what happened, or what we need to do and make sure that that gets there. I'm sorry, not features. So yeah, content. I was missing the I went to add content, and I'm missing the organization type, content type. So I'm looking for that, and I expected my feature, my organization feature, to automatically populate that, and I'm not seeing that there. So let's see what we need to do to make that happen. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread this. Okay, so currently the state of this is in fact disabled. So we'll just need to click here to enable organization, and we have a few other things disabled as well. So we see that URL is disabled and views is disabled. So we want to make sure that those are in fact enabled, and I believe that should be an automated process. Or is it not? Okay. Okay, let's quick look at modules again. Let's see what we have under here. Modules. Actually, I want to say that when you add a new feature, that feature actually shows up under your modules, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Okay, that's what I was missing. So I was thinking that you would enable your new module through the features structure here. That is not where you actually enable it. You need to enable it through modules. And so your new features, when you have those loaded, they're going to appear at the bottom of your modules, or sorry, in your modules, grouped with the features module. So you should be able to see. You could also do this via drush, just drush en organization. But now I can go ahead and just select organization to enable it and save that configuration, and all of the other ones can be enabled automatically. So yes, I would like to continue with the above and enable all the dependencies associated with it. So we'll do that, and we will see what the end result is. We should be able to see everything working now. Alright, so we'll take a quick peek and make sure. Well, actually, we can view it in structure and see if it's enabled or not under features. And we can see, okay, now the organization is in fact enabled as the default state. Alright, so now we can go to content and add a new content type theoretically. And there it is, organization shows up. And we would like to add a new content type, so in this case we might say, hey, let's add the San Antonio Christian Dental Clinic. And you know, hey, they are a low-cost non-profit, you know, low-cost dental clinic. Let's go that for now. Okay, their URL, CCC, and we can just leave the default logo for now. We won't worry about that right now. And they are non-profit by default, so we'll leave that and save it. And there we have it. Our organization has been created, and now we can go ahead and view the organization's view that we see, or that we have access to, and we can see the organizations that we've added under here. And there it is, and there's no icon showing up because I didn't add one, but we can go in, just for the sake of closure here, let's go ahead and add that icon to the Christian Dental Clinic to make it look a little nice. So we'll edit this guy. We can go in and add the well, here we'll just go ahead and add a default logo I have sitting around for another project. Alright, let's save that. Alright, and we'll go back to the organizations. And there you go. So now the logo shows up. And then if we added more organizations, they would just appear in a list on this page here. And then you can take these views and integrate them into other parts of the web page as well. But there you have it. That's how we took our use case of creating a list of organizations and turned that into a feature, and then subsequently enable that feature in Drupal on our stage environment. And as you can see, by actually understanding how to use the features module, by going into modules, and then enabling that one single module, that organizations module or organization module, it brought in automatically all the dependencies that were associated with it, and it brought in the configurations that we made, which are normally stored on Drupal's database. So in essence, we've freed all these configurations from Drupal's database and made it into something that we can actually track via Git, and edit that in the future and make changes to it as we need to, and then very easily enable that on new sites or different environments, I should say. So we did that on the Sage site, and then doing that on the production site would be just as simple as this as well. And there you have it. So hopefully that was educational on the features module. I'll see you next time.